Hello and welcome. This video is going to be about refurbishing a really cheap 3x crankset. Now you look at this thing and you may be thinking to yourself, why? I will get to that. As far as the actual process goes, it's pretty straightforward. Disassemble, clean, dry, paint, and reassemble. Couldn't be easier. And in fact, I don't think that you need me to talk you through each of those steps. So instead, while I'm doing them, I'll be talking about the why of this. So here's the thing. I love bicycles. I love everything about bicycles. I don't care if it's a road bike or a mountain bike or a hybrid or anything in between. I love bikes. And as part of that, I also enjoy sharing that enthusiasm. One of the ways in which I do that is I pick up older used bikes, or in many cases they're donated to me by friends, and I refurbish them and pass them along to people who have no viable transportation means. And I've said for the longest time that while a bicycle is to me a luxury, for many people it's a necessity. It's how they get back and forth to work and such. Well, not too long ago, I found myself on that side of the equation unexpectedly when one of the four cylinders in my Chevy decided it didn't want to play with the others. But before I bought a junker truck, well, I shouldn't say junker because I bought the thing new, sold it to a friend, and she sold it back to me in my time of need. So I retract the word junker. At any rate, in that interim, I had no motorized transport. A bicycle was my only means of getting around, so I used it to go to a general store about 6 miles from me and bought some groceries, and a few days later I rode it about 7 miles to go to church, and I was glad to have it. But it also gave me a new appreciation for what I'd been saying all these years about luxury versus necessity. Now, as it turns out, I often purchase a beat-up bicycle, not because it can be repaired, but because I can strip it for parts. In this instance, this crankset came from an old Mongoose, I'm doing air quotes, mountain bike that had a cracked non-drive side seat stay. I'm not going to try to fix something like that and then give it to somebody, because I want to give people bikes that are safe and usable, not things that have been bodged together. But I pulled a lot of parts off it, so it's all good in the end. So the thing is, with this crankset, it looks pretty crappy, but it's actually in pretty good physical condition. The teeth are all nice and sharp, and the square taper openings have not been deformed, so all it really needs is to have its appearance improved. And I say that because I could take this crankset and put it on another bike when I'm fixing it up, and it would work perfectly. But you know, I don't want to give somebody a bike that they would be embarrassed or less than enthusiastic to ride. I want to give them something that not only works well, but looks good. Because I think everybody should be able to be proud of the bike they're riding, whether it's a $10,000 Colnago or a $100 Mongoose. I think that's important. And so that's really why I decided to refurbish this Mongoose crankset. And interestingly, although it came on a Mongoose, it's a Prowheel crankset. So it is, in fact, a brand name. Maybe not, Campagnolo or Shimano or SRAM, but it is still not entirely generic. Be that as it may, it cleaned up nicely, and the paint went on well, and I think it looks pretty sharp. I had a spare set of new pedals that I had taken off something else, and I put on it, so it's good to go. I do not have a project in mind for this at this moment, but I do have 3 of those big black bins with the yellow lids that I got from Lowe's, and those are full. I mean, chock-a-block full of miscellaneous spare parts, and I have dipped into those boxes on many occasions to put something together for someone. So unless something is really well and truly beyond redemption, I'm not throwing it away. I'm going to use it again at some point. That is the why of this project. So there really is a method to my madness, so to speak. If you enjoyed this video, I have a link to a how-to playlist below left, and lower right is a link to a video that I made about that period of time when I was without motorized transport. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate that. Goodbye, and have a wonderful day.